What is up? It is Sam here, and tonight I have an amazing video for you. I just finished the Iowa caucuses ranking video. I've got all the research done based on the YouTube and the Google search volume. I stack ranked all the candidates 1 through 11 and then took an average of that, and I put all that together for you tonight. So, with that being said, if this is your first time here, what's good? My name is Sam, and for those of you who are returning, it's good to freaking see you. Now, with that being said, let's get into the video. Before I dive into the actual numbers, I want to show you something that when I first read it, it almost made me like laugh. I'm just going to get into it. So what we have here is Wikipedia. This is the Iowa caucuses. This is how it's done in Iowa, like in terms of the caucuses. There's primaries and there's caucuses. Those are two separate things. So I'm just going to read you what the democratic process is. Each precinct divides its delegate seats among the candidates in proportion to caucus goers' votes. Participants indicate their support for a particular candidate by standing in a designated area of the caucus site, forming a preference group. So we just go hold hands and sing Kumbaya, I think is where we're kind of like at in the story, but there's still more to go. An area may also be designated for undecided participants. Cool, we're including everybody. Then this is real life. Like, this is not, I'm not like gonna be like, gotcha. This is like actually how it's done. Let's continue. Then, for roughly 30 minutes, participants try to convince their neighbors to support their kid. You guys can go read this yourself. This is really actually a step in the process to getting the president elected. You guys tell me your thoughts down below in the comments. Use hashtag stole so at the end of the videos I can find it and read the comment to everybody. Because I blew my mind when I first learned this. But that is why I created these rankings. Like with Google and YouTube, what we did for the Iowa caucuses is we took the 12-month, the 3-month, and the 1-month search volume for each candidate's name. So anytime somebody searched for Andrew Yang or Bernie Sanders, Google tracks that through a site called Google Trends. So let me actually pull it up for you real quick. Google Trends has all the data from YouTube and Google because it's owned by it. So what you do is you just put in a search term, right? Tulsi Gabbard. And we get to see what they're ranked at, right? So this is over the past 12 months. These two are ranked the same. But if you go through and look at the data on a statewide basis, this is on average. But when you look at the statewide basis, you can see that Tulsi Gabbard has more attention. Do you know what I mean? So that's how I would break a tie if there was a tie. But then I do this at the 3-month and the 1-month on Google search volume as well as YouTube search volume, which is over here. We just switch this to YouTube, and now we are looking at all the data on YouTube. And it tells a different story. But the interesting thing is, these are the two biggest sites on the planet. So it captures so much data. So I gathered all of that data together and I put it into a spreadsheet. And this is what I came up with. The top 4 are Bernie Sanders, Tulsi Gabbard, and tied for number 3 here, which is kind of interesting. I didn't expect Bernie or Joe Biden to be in 3rd. I would have thought he would have done worse. I just feel like he's losing a lot of steam. So kudos to Joe Biden. You're doing a good job, bud. But Elizabeth Warren and Joe Biden have tied for 3rd. Now, let me just dive a little bit into the data really quick. So first, this is on Google. We can look over the 365, the 90, and the 30. And we can see that Pete Buttigieg has gained a buckload of momentum. Right, he's number 1 in the most recent 30 days. That's kind of interesting, right? Let's see if we can distinguish any other trends here. So we looking through the data, you see this doesn't tell a trend because we just see up and down, right? This doesn't tell a trend really. They moved up and then just been sitting there. Similarly, this person's been sitting there basically. This could be the start of a trend. We don't know. Here we go. Joe Biden. Exactly what I was talking about. Joe Biden was second, fourth, and then fifth in terms of the time periods of his relevance. So you can see he is steadily losing ground over time. Like, that's not what you want. Clearly. Cory Booker, nothing. He even lost ground, it looks like. Elizabeth Warren, again, similar like Andrew Yang, up and down. Miss Gabbard here. This is hard to tell, too, because you have, like, it was going up by a little bit and then it shot down, but that'll be interesting to watch and see how it plays out. Another thing here is Tom Steyer. Not really anything visible on there. Now, let's go over to the ranking of the Iowa over here. We can see that the first ranking done on 9/24, I actually didn't even have Tulsi Gabbard or Tom Steyer in it because they weren't in the debate in September. So I didn't even include them in the first ranking I did. And then in the second ranking, after the next debate, Tulsi Gabbard just shot up, like, and has stayed at number 2, where Elizabeth Warren actually lost a spot. So I don't know. This is on the macro level, right? We were just looking on Google a minute ago. Now we're looking at the combination of Google and YouTube. So we took a 50% average of both of their rankings to come up with the overall ranking. So it's a much wider swath of understanding or data captured in this number. And we see that Elizabeth Warren actually lost a spot here. Again, we only have 3 data sets of like measurement, so I'm working on putting these out more consistently so we can capture more data to try to really understand the micro trends involved here. Bernie Sanders has just been clowning at everybody. He's just destroying everybody continuously. He did lose a spot in both of these over the past 30 days. We'll see if he's able to rekindle that attention that was lost in the most recent like happenings of politics around here. Super interesting to see how this is playing out, and I'd love to hear your thoughts if you use hashtag Stole, as I mentioned earlier. At the end of these videos, I actually get into the comments here, and I look for hashtag Stole in the comments, because then the people who leave hashtag Stole leave good, generally speaking, positive and thoughtful, considerate, like much more valuable comments than the average comment in general speaking. Not that everybody's thoughts are not valuable. It just, a lot of times there's a little bit more thought put into the comments associated with people who use the hashtag Stole. And I want to really showcase that value there, because it's in the comment section, and a lot of people don't even go down to the comments. So anyways, what we have here this is from Music Spinner. What's good, Music Spinner? Thank you so much. Any thoughts on nicotinino or nicotina mindi monounocleotide? I'm not sure if I pronounced that correctly, but I've never heard of it before. I may have heard of it in terms of what it does and reference to it, but I've actually never heard of it before, and I did not look up anything before this video, but I do appreciate your comments because I saw it the other day as well. This comment comes to us from Nivas Kumar. What's good, man? How you doing? I appreciate your comment, man. Finally put data. This is in reference, and he said Tulsi won. Well, depends on how you define winning, but yeah, you could say she won. Depends on how you just have to have a different definition than what we have in the video here, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. I do appreciate the comment so much. I do think that she had some very, very well. She's really connecting, I feel like, with a large swath of attention right now. And it's interesting to see how that's going to develop. because she's gaining a lot more awareness with a much, much broader group of people. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out and the stickiness of that going forward. I appreciate the comment, brother. This is from Consensus G. What's good? Um, what about including Twitter followers gained post-debate website visits? Hey, Consensus G, you should check out the channel, brother. I actually do track all that stuff. Check out the Twitter ranking for a lot of data around that and analysis on that. Just search Twitter ranking on my channel or the post-debate website visits. If you want to see the website visits, I do exactly that, and we track the popularity of their websites based on a couple different engagement metrics. 3 specifically, where they rank in the US, their website out of all other websites, the amount of minutes or time that people spend on a site, because that's valuable. The more attention you can grab, the better. And the total number of page views, because if you have more page views on average than I do on my website, people are more interested or more compelled by your website design to stay there than they are on my site. So that is another factor in terms of understanding engagement or attention there. So check out that if you're interested. This may create more reliable results than Google searches. Aren't necessarily a good thing. Take, for example, okay, so if you check out the power rankings, this is probably the best one to actually check out. Look at my channel, look at the power rankings, the last video. It's got a crap load of the it has the power rankings, which are made up of 7 factors. So we have Google search volume, YouTube search volume, we rank their website, we rank their Twitter, we rank their YouTube, and we rank their Facebook. And lastly, we rank their donations. So, and then after I rank every single one of those individually, I bring them up macro level, and I take an average of all the individual rankings to come up with the national power rankings. Interesting if you want to check that out. I think that would probably be a good place to actually start. On the other hand, Twitter followers gained at website views are only tied to positive interest in a candidate. Probably. But I do track it. Check out the channel. A real example of the unreliability of pure Google search volume is this. Tulsi may have generated the most interest, but a poll was conducted that showed her net favorability. Bro, you should check out the channel. I'm not a huge fan of polls, not necessarily. It's like you ask 3 of your friends like what they think of like of who's winning, right? So you have 3 data points, and I'll just go to the whole entire country and capture the net collective interest of what people are searching for. That's essentially like a poll to me. I understand the statistics behind why people believe that it is has predictive value, because I studied statistics for a number of years. But I don't, I mean, the volume of data is literally like that. It's like millions and millions of data points versus asking 3 friends. If you look at Real Clear Politics, the last ranking when I checked the website a week ago was from Economist. So you go to the Economist link to look at like the polling data, right? Because you want to understand the data. And when you scroll through, you look at for N. N is the sample size in statistics. The nomenclature for the sample size is N. So if you want to know, if you're writing out a formula and you want to know where to put things, or you're looking at a formula and you need to put the data in there, the N is represented by the sample size, and that's the number of participants in the poll. So this particular poll, which is reported on Real Clear Politics, and that's where they do their ranking, is based on 1,500 people. Yeah, and this is what the media reports on. 1,500 people gave their opinion. 3 of your fucking friends gave an opinion. No offense to you. I'm not saying anything wrong with your friends or you specifically. I'm saying collectively. But that's what it's like versus seeing the essence of what's happening online. I think we're at that point where a lot of people are not appreciating the value of the internet. The reason things are happening is because of the internet. The reason we have a gigantic pool of candidates this year or this election cycle is because 20 years ago we didn't have the diversity of opinion through social media like this, or comments, or like me going through and reading these out loud. I think is super valuable. But this was not around 20 years ago. So when the debates came out, the media basically just picked the winner, right? I mean, we could see how some of this stuff is biased, because what I'm looking at on a macro level, at the power rankings level, is that their data is wrong. It's just not capturing what's actually happening. I don't know. It'll play out, right? It'll play out, because as time goes on, if what I'm doing is incorrect, then it's incorrect, and I'm going to tell you guys, and we'll see, right? But I'm not. I've never done this before, so we'll see together. I appreciate that. I think this video is going long enough. Don't forget to subscribe. Press that bell notification so you get notified every time I post a new video.